Hello, everybody. Mr.FrightNight here. Today's story is called The Footsteps. It was a cold winter's night. I was relaxing in my cabin for the weekend after a long week of work. The forecast was calling for snow, so that afternoon I decided to gather some firewood, knowing I was going to need it for heat and fire to cook. As I walked out the door, it just started snowing. I grabbed my hatchet and walked in the woods, looking for some dead trees I can cut up. It took me a while, but I got enough wood that would last me through the night. After that, I grabbed my fishing pole and walked to the nearby stream where I caught some trout for dinner. By this time, it was around 7 p.m. I decided to wind down with a glass of wine and headed to bed. I took one last look outside, and the snow was coming down. It started to cover the ground with a heavy coating. It sounded like a tree that fell. So I looked outside. At first, I didn't see anything. So I went back to bed. Then again, the same noise woke me up. This time, as I looked out, there was something staring at me. I couldn't quite make out what it was, but I know it wasn't human. It stood about 8 feet tall, with a hairy body. Luckily, I brought my gun with me, so I grabbed it and sat down in the chair near the window. As night went on, I fell asleep, and when I woke, it was light outside. So I decided to have a look around. As soon as I stepped outside, the snow was fairly deep. It looked like about 9 inches. Then, as I walked around, there were footprints near the window. They were about 20 to 21 inches long and over a foot wide. They weren't human. It almost looked like bear prints, but much larger with long nails. I continued to look around, and the footprints led me to the woods where they disappeared. I really wanted to leave, but I decided to stay another night, just out of curiosity. So I gathered more firewood, constantly looking around, hoping whatever it wasn't going to attack me. At this time, it started to snow again. I really didn't want to walk down to the stream to go fishing again, so I looked in my backpack and found some jerky I could eat for dinner. After eating, it was pretty late, so I laid down and hoping whatever it was wouldn't come back. A couple of hours went by, and I woke up again with something scratching at the window. I quickly got up and looked. I didn't see anything but footprints that were in the fresh snow. And again, I grabbed my gun and sat in a chair near the window. But this time, I didn't fall asleep. I waited for first light and went outside to look. I followed the footprints. Again, they led me into the woods and disappeared. Not knowing what was going on or what it was, I decided to pack my things and get out of there.